Good morning, traders. If you get a chance, be sure and like my video and comments below. I appreciate and post me on Twitter. Gonna be 9662C if you get a chance. So a quick rundown, real quick, of how the rankings went into the close there yesterday. So we had a very high ranking on a NVIDIA trade into the close there Friday yesterday. So there was a bunch of money trading on NVIDIA into Taiwan Semi's uh, earnings this morning. NVIDIA is gapping up a little bit, not a whole lot, but a little bit. It is gapping up a little bit on Taiwan Semi's earnings, which is gapping up this morning. So all's good in the world. I mean, so all the banks have beat on their earnings. Taiwan Semiconductor has beat on their earnings. Uh, we have inflation coming in lighter than expected. Bonds have reverted lower, so everything's looking good for the bulls. Okay. What we got going on here on the NVIDIA chart here, this big red line right here, there was a massive end of year sell order, the very last trading week, full trading week of the year. Um, Sorry about that. We're trading right around that massive big sell order from the end of last year here on NVIDIA. So let's put things in context where we are at in relation to that big sell order. Okay. If you go down here on the 5 minute now, if I zoom in here real quick, guys. See, we had this big order right here. So how you do that? If you guys want this, the volume hot percent, see these candles down here? You zoom right into this. And as you can see right there, this candle right here, there was this big order right here. We don't know from the volume leaders if it's a buy or a sell, but if you use the volume hot percent, you can tell it actually shows the orders placed on the bid or placed on the ask. And if it's red, okay, it means that this order executed on the bid, suggesting this was profit taking at that price point going into Taiwan Semiconductor. So, just seeing in the big ranking here, that doesn't really tell you a lot, but seeing that it's hitting on the bid side of the trade, that does imply that there was profit taking off of that trade. So, and like we said, right here was a big end of year sell order. So, remember, we are gapping up this morning. Just put that stuff in context going forward in today's trading. Okay, the second largest dollar trade for yesterday was Tesla. Okay, guys, it ranked 16 in the top 100 of all-time high trades. So be very mindful of that. And as you can see, it executed mostly on the bid, not the ask. So there was a large sell side trade here on Tesla. We're currently trading right slightly below that price that hit yesterday afternoon. So be mindful of that. Might be some profit taking coming into Tesla today. So be mindful of that in today's trading. Okay, as far as large trades for yesterday, the top 51 trades of the year of all time here on Microsoft. A big trade came in there yesterday at the close, and as you can see, it was solidly on the uh, bid side, not the ask. Okay, so there was not an aggressive buy at this price point. We're currently trading slightly above that this morning on Microsoft. Heads up on that. Right here is that large end of year sell order. So they closed out the year with this large order right above us here. This is a major resistance in my opinion. This marked the point to where we started seeing sell side pressure in Megatech on Microsoft, and seeing that big sell order right below this, something to be mindful going forward in today's trading. Now, Apple's been showing quite a bit of relative weakness here in the markets. We had a big trade in the 69 percentile of the all-time largest 100 trades of all time in Apple. Okay, so a very strong trade here in Apple that hit into the close there yesterday. Okay, way up here is where Apple was right here at the end, last week trading week of the year, 255.61. So we're quite a ways away from that trading point. If you go down here on the 5 minute, see if that was on the, and as you can see here on the 5 minute, it was on the bid, not the ask. So, they were selling into weak, technically selling into weakness instead of strength. There just wasn't enough buyers there to put that on the ask after such a big run in the market yesterday. So be mindful. We are currently opening above that trade execution. So what I do is I find the point where that trade executed. I put a line on my chart and see how price is interacting with those big on the bid size trades. They tend to be back tested. Okay, whenever you see these on the bid size trades, odds always favored that we're going to back test, if not break those trades. So be very mindful. That's why it's important to know those levels. If you're buying up here away from that level, you typically at least back test that area. So be very mindful in today's trading on that. And the other trade that I was really wanting to show here, a very large order here on the 5 minute on the bid, right about here was, so we're slightly above it this morning. It's in the 45 percentile of the top, 45 percentile of the top 100 trades of all time here on SPY. Uh, we're trading just slightly above it. Good odds we're coming back down. I'm going to easily test that, looks like, in early on this session. So, good thing is we're trading above it. Bad thing is, not by much. So be very mindful of that. You don't want to be overly bullish here because, like I said, these always tend to back test at the very least. So be very mindful of that. And that rounds off the top five biggest size trades from yesterday. Okay. Now, if I move on to the others here, another one to look at here, guys, here in the 5 minute on the bid, not the ask, down here. So be very mindful of that. So we are slightly above that this morning. Like I said, they tend to always backtest those levels, so be very mindful. 56 percentile of the top 100 of all time here on the Qs. Had a whole cluster of trades hitting right here near the close here. So be very mindful of that. Uh, those prior day highs, uh, are likely to get violated. So be very mindful in today's trading. Okay. And then also one thing we have to think about here, guys. We saw a lot of large trades in the Russell heading up to the bank results. Okay. And in the IWM specifically. And what we had yesterday, we didn't really have any trades that are ranking on the close. And that suggests to me that there was no big money willing to sell their positions, liquidate their positions at this price point. Okay. So you got people who are adding to their winners in smaller size as it goes up. Okay. That's probably what we're seeing here. So it's like a contrarian indicator. When you see the big ranked trades, that suggests there's a lot of nervousness or there's a lot of, it's a big area to where the institutions really want to participate. And what we're seeing here is the Russell institutions were really not wanting to participate into the close. Yeah, we have so be very mindful of that. As we saw, all the banks were looking really good. Uh, so we had another big order on the bid, okay, here into the close. We're currently trading below that, so this is acting a little bit more bearish this morning. So all the news is out. Uh, you know, uh, because there's not a rank trade, I would not be looking for a big downside sweep or anything like that, in my opinion. So just be very mindful that the institutions seem to be comfortable at this price point. So, in my opinion. So let's see how it plays out here. If we come in today and completely retrace IWM, well, I'll eat crow on that one. But I think it's probably fairly supported on the Russell at the current price point. So, uh, it's probably not something you want to fade too largely today. Going in line with a possible backtest of some of the big rally yesterday, The ZNs, as you can see here, look like we might be breaking a range low early this morning here, possibly for a little fade here off of that short squeeze. So this was a short squeeze yesterday in the bond market to the upside, and we're on the potentially breaking that short squeeze already. So I don't know how far we'll get with that, but it is important to note that we're marking prints below this low right here, suggesting that the short squeeze might be in jeopardy already. So be very mindful of that, and that would be more bearish equities in this case if that were to play out. So be very mindful this morning. So that's actually going against the grain of the broader markets. Uh, so be very mindful. So on my daily chart here on the dollar, this is a real-time live chart on the dollar index. So we are going a little bit against the grain. We're actually printing prices higher than yesterday's open on the dollar this morning, early on this morning, suggesting this might just be a little reprieve in the dollar strength. We have a very critical target here above us that would give us a double top, and we're really close to it. Looks like the markets aren't ready to give up. We're holding our moving average, 20 SMA moving average very well here. Still looking bullish on the dollar. That weighs on equities, knowing that situation. Potentially weighs on equities in this situation. So be mindful of that. Another bearish signal for this morning. Okay, another quick view of how we're trading here on some of these big leaders this morning. The top action this morning is NVIDIA. So far, we've found resistance. We had a big sell here on the 8th as well, acting as resistance this morning. We have a volume profile. This is from last week's volume profile. We had a triple distribution volume profile. The mid distribution looks to be rejecting this morning, so be very mindful of that. So, uh, we're not out of the woods here. So basically, this volume profile is suggesting we're just not out of the woods. Now, the week before, we put in value right here at this sell area, okay, and that's what it looks like this morning. We're into that trading range, so be very mindful. Being above 137.40 is a very critical support. That 137.40 right there is a very critical pivot. Above that you have to lean to the bullish above 137.40. But that is our point of control from this 3 week ago. Um, uh, you know, uh, this area right here looks like it's very important. That's what we're really fighting right here in this morning's session. Okay. Uh, Other things. Bank of America is doing well this morning. Here we go. Breaking out. Okay, these are weekly. This is the weekly volume profile. We're breaking out of this. Go over in 4 hour. Yeah, let's see. Weekly volume profile. We aren't breaking out this range high though. We looked above it, failed. It looks right now. It looks like an exhaustion. See that how thin that volume profile is. It looks like a potential exhaustion push. So we don't know how it's going to play out today, but it does potentially look like an exhaustion push in today's session on Bank of America as the earnings came out this morning. I think Morgan Stanley reports today too. It's not out yet. Morgan Stanley's not out yet. Taiwan Semi. Okay, there you go, guys. So here on the prior week, okay. So heads up on this one here. Taiwan Semi here. So it looks like we double tagged the all-time highs here on Taiwan Semi, and we're coming right back here into last week's value area. Uh, this is our value area from last week. Currently trading back inside that value area. So that really bothers me a little bit that we did not hold value area high going into the pre-market. So be very mindful of that. It's acting a little bit weaker than I would have liked using volume profile early on this morning. So be mindful of that scenario as well. Okay. Other ones down through here. FXI, nothing's really going on there. Palantir's up this morning. Looks like it's trying to find a base. This is a very critical right here. See this? This is a very critical, potentially breaking out here of a base. Be very mindful of this. We are potentially breaking out of base. Where we're opening right here, right now, is more bullish than bearish. Just be mindful of that going into your trading today. AMD's up a little bit. This is just a dog. Okay, guys, this has been a dog for a very long time. Really, until the pattern changes, the rally should be faded on AMD. Okay, it's just a really ugly chart. Okay, come down in here. I don't trade Rivian. That's a smaller stock. How about Google? Google here. So basically, we're doing. You can call this a meat grinder. We're in the meat grinder right here on Google. Okay, it is looking promising. Okay, this is promising near the highs. It's not really high enough, in my opinion, to get excited. You can actually see this cluster of volume area highs. You can actually put a resistance right here at value area highs. So we came right up to resistance. It failed, and then down here at the bottom, uh, what you can do is come down here. You can actually put support down here. Okay, put a little green box down here, guys, and this is support. This is pretty much how it's trading. Yeah. So, right now the edge based off the area you're trading right now, if you're a day trader, you would be leaning more to the bearish side, given how it's trading in today's session. Micron this morning, everybody's been talking about Micron after a devastating last earnings. Devastating last earnings. Somehow it's managed to maintain it. It's managing to maintain a bid, which is kind of amazing in itself, in its own right. Okay, that's quite an amazing feat. But what you can see here, some things going on here. Right here, I would be more apt to look on the short side until proven otherwise. I think this is a resistance. See how these weekly uh, areas here. I think this proves to be more resistance than bullish. I wouldn't want to be entering a new money long here personally here on that one. So be very mindful of that going forward in your trading here, knowing how bad the earnings were last quarter. You want to be really careful trying to trade out to the upside. I've been watching Broadcom as well. Broadcom had a blowout quarter. It's been doing this bull flag. Actually, this is looking really good. This is looking very good for a possible move back up to that end of year sell off. So the last week, trading week of last year, had a big sell order hit right here. Uh, so if you're a bull, this one here is looking promising for a move up into that big sell order like most of the other Megatech has done. So be very mindful of that. We'll take that forward here as we go here. Is there any others down here standing out? Amazon's way down here. Let's see here. Okay. Uh, Amazon's looking promising here. I'm actually more bullish going into earnings for Amazon because they got the ad revenue. This is the first quarter reporting, and they got ad revenue for Prime Video watchers, and you have to pay a premium now if you do not want to watch ads. And this is just a brand new form of income for the company on top of everything else. Uh, I think it's a really positive thing for the company. So yeah, I think personally, I think we're both flagging for an all-time high breakout, but only time will tell. We'll see how it all plays out. I know Walmart's really with say Walmart's really advanced their home delivery services and stuff, and it's cutting a lot into the Amazon business model. But in that one regard, and I think that could be potentially be quite bullish for Amazon. So let's definitely keep this on watch going forward. So any of you guys who watch Ask Slim, he does cycle dates and stuff. So we had a down cycle, a very, very severe down cycle into inauguration based off of his cycle dates that he had drawn out. And so be very mindful here that these pops can fade fairly quickly into that scenario. So be very mindful. We're into an extreme potential cycle date to the downside. Uh, yeah, so it could be over early. Yesterday's big rally off the CPI could be it. That could have been it for the down cycle, and we started an early up cycle. Okay, that could very, very well be the case. Okay, I just want to get going all in on the long side here. Probably not the wisest move. It's probably much wiser to see if you can scalp some downside back testing, back and fill scenarios in the next couple of day sessions going into inauguration. But historically, going into inauguration are very bullish. For the all the way up till inauguration day, and then the markets tend to sell off after inauguration for the next 2 to 3 months. Okay, guys. So be very mindful historically. The first few months of a new presidency like this aren't the best months for trading to the long side. So just be mindful of that going forward here. Thanks a lot for watching my video, and please retweet me if you get a chance and share my videos. And thanks a lot.